For most of the crypto traders who specifically trade in options, even though there is a daily expiry, they could find it hard to execute it by manually placing the orders. So what if in case using AI, if we could build our own execution tool using which with one click you can automatically place short straddle or short strangle, and all this creation of tool is possible without writing a single line of code. My name is Kribakaran Rajendran, and this is what I'm going to teach you where how to create your own fully automated execution system where you don't need to write a single line of code, but this AI tool will automatically going to place orders for you in crypto options. Let's see the step-by-step tutorial on this. So in this tutorial, what we are going to use is we are going to use Delta Exchange inbuilt AI. So there are AI like ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, so many AIs. So in order to build our own front end, or in order to build our own portal, we need to be very, very clear with the AI on what we really need. So for that, we need both front end and back end. But I do not know anything about front end or back end. If you're worried that you do not know anything about coding, do not worry, because for this process, you don't really need to know coding. We will seek the help of AI and completely build this tool from scratch. So first, there are three things involved in it. First thing is there is one thing called Delta Exchange CoPilot. We can make use of this tool because it is really, really powerful, where it correctly knows which documentation it should refer in order to deliver what the user wants, using which we can first build the backend and then use that code to build the front end so that the overall execution becomes easier. And for this, you need to have your own API keys. That is also easier to create. That I'll also explain how to do this. And once done, you can run this locally. You don't need any specific server. You can easily run it in your own local laptops or desktop and do the execution. So for now, we'll focus on the option strategies. Say suppose you are someone who is daily execute a short straddle strategy with a simple stop loss. How can I do this without manually placing the order? So first we will explain the pain point of a trader who places this short straddle manually, how he places a stop loss and everything, and how the AI can completely remove the manual part and make it a simple one-click execution kind of a tool. All code and prompts discussed in this video are available on Delta Exchange community, and the link is available in the description. First, let's see how a simple short straddle execution happens. Say, as you know, with respect to crypto and Delta Exchange, there are BTC and ETH. These are the two instruments which supports options. And with crypto, there are everyday expiry. So just like how we have expiry, weekly expiry in Nifty and Sensex, here we have everyday expiry. And one thing that we need to notice is all these expiries have a different timeline of expiry time. Every day, evening 5:30 p.m. IST, our time 5:30 p.m. is where the expiry happens. Say for an example, currently the time is morning 10 o'clock. So today's expiry date will be 3 April. So today the date is 3 April and the expiry will be at today's evening 5:30 p.m. So after 5:30 p.m. the expiry date will be changed to the next day, which is 4th April. So every day by 5:30 p.m. the expiry happens. So currently the BTC trades at $66,600. $66,600. Now if I'm going to short it, there is an option where you can directly go here and see which is the current ATM option. So automatically the option chain populates that. So now 66,600 is the ATM option. So which trades around 250 and 250 on both the sides. If I'm going to short it, say suppose if I'm going to short 10 lots here, I just select it here and mention 10 lots, which is $3 is on our requirement. I just sell it. I place order on the put side. Now I place option for the call option on the sell side. I click sell and then I placed it. Now the short straddle is placed. I would like to place a stop loss order. So you come down and click on this add TPSL, and I wanted to place a stop loss order for 50% of the option premium. So I mention 50% and I confirm. And here also I mention a 50% stop loss and I confirm. So the stop loss is placed. That's all. So this is a simple short straddle strategy with a 50% stop loss. If the market doesn't move much, both the option expire worthless, and it shows how much the cash flow. So it shows that $2, almost $4.8 or $4.9, close to $5 is what I can make with the $10 of margin in case the market doesn't move anywhere. This is the overall payoff. In order to completely automate this, where it should place this entry orders, it should place the stop loss orders without we doing anything. So for that, we are seeking a help of Python, but I do not know how to write a Python code. So that is where this CoPilot helps. If you go to Algo app, click on API CoPilot. This is an inbuilt AI tool which is being used by the Delta Exchange. You can directly ask the questions in layman terms. It is going to give you the output. API CoPilot is available to any user who has generated a Delta API key. If it is not appearing for you, simply create one. I'll show you how to do that. So in order to create API keys, go to your profile, click on API keys, where you will see an option to enter these details. So first mention short straddle, whatever, you can mention anything, and this IP address you need to mention, it is mandatory. So wherever I'm going to execute, say currently this is my IP address, this is where I'm locally executing from my system. So I just mention my IP address and check these two checkboxes, read data and trading data, and then click on create API key. You will get an email verification code, and also you will get a two-factor authentication code. If you do not know how to set up a two-factor authentication code, there is already a video available in the Delta Exchange channel where the step-by-step instruction is mentioned to enable this 2FA. Once you submit these two details, you will get an API key and secret key, using which we will be executing the Python code first. So here I'm going to ask, provide me the necessary Python code in order to execute this short straddle. So then first we will test this Python code, and then we'll start creating the front end tool. So I'm giving a detailed prompt here. Please create a Python code to execute short straddle option strategy for BTC. So I mentioned this where user should be able to enter number of lots they want, then number of lots, the stop loss parameters. So I mentioned this, and also it should be for BTC or ETH. User can mention that, and mainly it should automatically pick current day expiry. If execution is run before 5:30 p.m., then it should pick current day as expiry. If not, pick next day as expiry. That's all. Provide full Python code. That's all. So now once you give the submit, it is automatically going to give you the full detailed Python code. So that Python code you can directly run it in your own local machine to just test if it works fine. So the API CoPilot created by the Delta Exchange, it has automatically given me the necessary detailed Python code. So I do not know anything about this. I do not know any syntax. I do not even understand what this is mentioned, but I can understand if I execute this, the short straddle strategy is going to be executed. We'll just verify the overall details. So it fetches the ATM strikes automatically for BTC ETH and places a market order for order execution and places the stop loss orders, and everything is as per whatever the requirement is. So we just have to copy the complete code. So copy the code, and here you will see the API key and secret key, right? Here you have to change your API key and secret key. So now there are a lot many people who do not know about this Python, how to put this in a code, how to run it. So no need to worry. What we'll do is we'll just give this complete code to a new AI called Lovable AI and ask it to build a front end where I can directly click and execute this easily. So in order to build an AI tool, we should seek an help of another AI. So what I'm going to do is I'm just copy pasting the complete code and then giving it to the Claude AI and asking it to give the prompt to build the front end. So what I'm going to say is I'm going to build a portal to execute short straddle for delta exchange. I need to build this in lovable AI. So provide me detailed prompt MD file which I can share with lovable. User should have an input box to enter their API key, secret key, also number of lots they wanted to trade, stop loss percentage, and drop down, and then what they should have, and expiry drop down, which should have current date and next date. Also have two buttons where it should execute now and execute later. If selected execute later, it should show date and time as input from user, and based on that it should execute the order. So what happens is we are going to build a front end, and in that front end it is going to tell us exactly what needs to be done. Like for an example, I wanted a front end where I can place the API key and secret key, and also I should be able to place the number of lots what I want to trade, the stop loss percentage. Everything should be modified on the front end in the portal itself. I don't need any code. And also either I can execute now or I can execute later. For an example, I can just keep my laptop open and I wanted to execute a short straddle after 1 hour. So when I just schedule it, and automatically at that time the execution happens automatically. So that is what I want. So in order to build this in another AI, lovable AI, we need a detailed prompt. So for that we are asking the help of Claude AI, which will give us a detailed prompt, like what should be done, what are the different sections, what should be the kind of tools it should use, everything will be there. So once the detailed prompt is ready, we will just copy paste it in a new AI and create the portal. Now I got the detailed prompt. See, I've given just 5 lines, almost whatever the things that is I'm expecting from the given code. But look at the detailed prompt that which it has created. It has created like some 5-10 different pages of document with the detailed instructions, what needs to be done, what are the necessary code it should fetch, everything in detail it is mentioned. So all we have to do is download this MD file, the prompt file, and upload it to the lovable AI. So now I go to this lovable AI. So lovable AI is a best tool if you wanted to create a front-end application. So now I'm just attaching that file, attach file, the one which we created using the Claude AI. So we'll just attach it and ask it to develop it completely. So delta straddle prompt. Build the attached. That's all. You don't need to mention anything. Automatically it will do. And also mention ask for any clarification if needed. That's it. So what would happen is it would check the detailed document which we shared as a prompt, and then if it has any doubts, like if you need any specific changes in the design or anything, it would ask you. At that point only you give the clarification. Rest of the part you don't need to worry about anything. It would read the document completely and it would think what needs to be done, and automatically it would start creating the portal for us. So now the lovable AI has totally built the complete front end. So whatever the code we gave, based on that, whatever the prompt we gave from Claude AI, it has automatically built multiple pages, and this is how the overall page looks like. All you have to do is copy paste your API key and secret key, test the connection if it is successful, and then enter the number of lots, your stop loss percentage, select the expiry date, and click on execute now, which will execute the strategy immediately. Or else you can click on execute later, where it will be scheduled to execute at later point of time. So currently we do not have any open positions now. So what we will do is we'll just test it out, where we'll just copy paste our API key and secret key, and then we'll try with a simple execution first. I'm going to this place, copy my API key, and then copy my secret key. First, let's test the execution. Connection is successful. So now enter the number of lots you wish to trade, enter the stop loss percentage. I am mentioning the stop loss as 50%, and then I'm fetching today's date, and then I'm clicking on execute now, and it would ask you for the confirmation. It is one lot ATM call plus put for today's expiry with 50% stop loss. Click on confirm. Then it would automatically fetch whatever the current spot price, and then accordingly it would place. So it has placed the call option and put option, and it has placed the necessary stop loss orders. So everything is functioning as expected. So just like how we executed it from the Python code, now it is done directly using the portal. So you're able to see the positions, which price it placed it, and what is the current position. Actively you would be able to monitor it. So perfectly it got executed using the front-end tool. So now let's do one more thing. Instead of executing it now, if we execute it later point of time, where after 1 hour you wanted to execute, or after half an hour you wanted to execute, or you wanted to execute a short straddle strategy at a specific time, that can also be done using the same tool. So I'm copy pasting the API key and secret key, and then I'm keeping it by default, and then I'm scheduling it for today's expiry, and I click on execute later. So once I click on execute later, I'll have an option to enter the date and time. So I'm mentioning the date and time, and currently it is around 10:35. So let's keep it as 10:36. So let's just for testing purpose, we'll see if it is executing correctly. Testing, and I've scheduled it. So now the short strategy is scheduled in the scheduled jobs at 10:36. Currently the time is 10:35, 48 seconds, around 50 seconds. So next 20 seconds, once the time is whatever the time that we have scheduled it, automatically the tool would check if there are any scheduled job at that particular point of time, and it would execute directly at that time. In case if you wanted to execute the scheduled jobs manually, you can directly click on execute now. That would place orders automatically in your account. So now if you could see, the time is 10:36 now, so it is executing the orders. So 10:36, and it has placed the entry orders, and it is placing the stop loss orders. So everything is done automatically. So this is how you build a tool from scratch with the help of AI, where whether you know Python or not, you can directly create the complete beautiful front-end application and keep it for yourself, and no issues at all, and it doesn't cost any thing to run it at your place. Since there is no server needed, you can run it locally. And for, as I said in the earlier, you need to know which AI tool to be used for what purpose. For lovable AI, it is always the front end, like these kind of beautiful portal you can create. For Cloud AI, it is always the backend. I hope you found this video tutorial really helpful. This is how you can step by step easily build any kind of front end applications without writing a single line of code. So start replicating what I have taught you today. Hope you will definitely find the value addition that AI provides. In case if you have any specific doubts related to whatever things that I've explained today in the video, please feel free to post it in the comment section. I'll address it.